You buy something, you get a receipt. That's how it works. You go to the store, you buy a receipt. You go somewhere, you want a good or service, they give you a receipt. Of course, that hasn't always been the case in taxis. There was a deadline. It was on Tuesday that the government was going to impose a system in Quebec taxis, a sales recording system, to ensure that you would get a receipt. Of course, there has been a delay, a 5-month reprieve for the taxi industry. To find out why there's been the delay, let's go to George Boussios from Champlain Taxi. Hi, George.
Hi, Elias. How are you?
I'm doing well. So let me get something straight here. Do you want this system in your cars, or do you not want this system in your cars? What's the taxi industry's opinion on this?
Elias, just give me. You have beautiful hair, and I'm sure when you go to the barber, you don't get a receipt there either. So it's not only the taxi industry.
I do. I get a receipt. My goodness.
Oh, you do?
I do get it. Yeah, I get a receipt.
Really? Okay. I guess I don't have too much hair, so mine is a quicker cut. We wanted, to be honest with you, they've been talking about this for over 10 years, and before COVID, and we had always said in the industry, if it will eliminate the part-timers, it would eliminate the people that are just coming out on the weekends, the ones that are maybe retired and just coming out, and it would remain. And the ones that would remain would be the professional taxi drivers that are out to make a living and to make it a career, actually. Mm-hmm. So it's nothing that we've been against. And now they officially announced it last year that June 1st they would put the SEV, it's called. I think restaurants it's the MEV, and in the taxi industry it will be called the MEV. Yeah. And you can blame the taxi industry all you want, but at the end of the day, it's the government that's not ready.
There's no blame for me, George. I just want to say, because I don't even know. I don't know if you want this, or if or if the taxi industry doesn't want it. I don't even know.
If you ask the people that have made this a career, yes, they don't have an issue if they're at the end of the day, life. If you're making money, you're going to pay your taxes, and everything is fine. The professional taxi drivers, the ones that are doing it long term, they don't have any problems of declaring their money. Like I said, it will clear out the industry, and they'll probably be busier for them. So the more money you're making, yes, you're going to pay more taxes, but at the end of the day, you're making more money, so you're okay with it.
And so Revenue Quebec is giving a subsidy, by the way. They're going to cover $790 for a taxi to install this equipment. Does that cover the cost?
It does. Actually, it's the program and the printer. And some companies are as low as $350. Some go up to $700, depending on which of the companies that are working with Revenue Quebec have been accepted to create that program. So yes, you install it in your car, but you just can't get the reimbursement until you start using it. So after a few months that they see that you've used it and they're collecting their taxes, then they will reimburse you.
Okay, so why the 5-month delay? Was this a demand on your end, on the taxi industry's end, or the government needed to delay?
I know there's a shortage of printers because there's over about 8,000 to 10,000 cars that need it, and maybe more. So the supplier has had a shortage of getting printers in the second round. Human nature, we always wait till the last minute to do whatever we have to do, especially when it comes to paying things. We'll wait till the last minute. But I know we constantly have drivers that are coming to our office and asking for the form, because before you start declaring it, you need an authorization number from Revenue Quebec. You cannot work as a taxi driver without an authorization number from Quebec. So I know a lot of our drivers have filled out the form, and they've waited over 1 month, and they still haven't had their authorization. And without the authorization, they couldn't work after June 1st. So the part was, I think what caught Revenue Quebec by surprise was that everybody sent in a form by mail as opposed to going on the website, which really I didn't even know we can go on the website. We were told that it has to be sent by mail to Quebec City, and a few days or a week later, we would receive our authorization code. They got overwhelmed. I don't think they were ready and prepared for that. And they basically said, we'll extend it till November 1st.
With George Boussios from Champlain Taxi talking about a sales recording system in taxis supposed to be implemented on Tuesday. They've gotten a 5-month delay on that. So, George, to me, I feel this is a type of forced modernization on the taxi industry, and you should embrace it. It is a huge advantage to the Ubers and the Evas, that if I take one of those options, it all goes right to my email. I get everything, right? So
Yeah.
do you need to be, because listen, and tell me if I'm wrong here, right? In my brain, I feel the hesitancy is because so much of your sales, you get a phone call or you get hailed on the street, you get paid in cash. It's like it never existed to the government, right? And whereas if everything happens within an app, if everything happens with the sales system, you got to report all of that stuff. But I do feel at the end of the day, it's good because if I can trust a taxi trip to get me a receipt and all of the other things I get with your competitors, I feel I'm more likely to take a taxi again. Do you see any advantages here?
I'll tell you what, there's a lot to that question. Number one, let's not fool ourselves. Yes, Uber, they declare, their drivers are in the system. There's a lot of Uber drivers that do book their clients, end up calling them instead of Uber, and they don't declare that money as well. Mm-hmm. But it happens in every industry. So, let's be honest about that. There's always ways of, collect. A regular customer, he's going to pay you cash and you won't put it. It happens in taxi, it happens in Eva, happens in Uber. This industry has been neglected for a long time. Is this a modernization part of it? I don't think it's a modernization. We have to pay our taxes. It's the law. But this industry has always been put on the side. They let it run wild. At the end of the day, when you let what's that saying? You let the inmates run the asylum. We're going to do it. And all of a sudden, within a year or two, they install all these new things. You don't just change within a year something that's been going on for 40 years. So the blame lies directly on the government. They let this industry go on the side, and now they want to clean it up in a year. It's not going to happen. And again, they wanted us to be ready June 1st. Most of the drivers have ordered their program. Some are missing printers, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because once you press it into the tablet, the fare of the amount of the fare, it's in the system and you'll pay GST. We have a portail. Every 3 months, we send our calls to the Revenue Quebec and Transport Quebec. So we're ready for that. They're not ready. They're not sending us the authorization number to start this process.
George, aside from the in-taxi system, the sales recording system, let's talk about the industry in general, because I think the taxi industry can be viewed maybe as a barometer about if things are returning to normal. So can you tell us, since we've started the quote-unquote reopening of Quebec?
You're absolutely right, Elias, about that. And I'll tell you what, Saturdays and Sundays were the worst days of the week starting the pandemic. They were really, really bad. And the first Saturday, our calls doubled. Now, it's the opening. It was the 29th. The Canadians were playing that day. So, it has been better. And it will get better when the bars open and dining rooms open. A little disappointed now that they're closing Old Montreal between 12 to 6. But, it's gotten better. I'm not going to lie. It seems, it's an upward trend right now. So, it is good news.
So I just to pick up on what you just said, the Old Port is going to go under a curfew, not the entire Old Montreal. But tell me about how does that affect your business? Is there a lot of business that comes out of the Old Port between midnight and 6?
Well, on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there's always people around there. I mean, anywhere you lock down, there's not going to be any customers. There's always somebody walking around hailing a taxi. So it does affect us. So we're a little disappointed that they did that. But I don't know how long they will do it. But once the bars open up, we need our nighttime drivers to start making a little bit of income. I mean, you're not going to make anything when everything's locked down at 9 o'clock. So,
George, I'm going to squeeze in one quick question with you, and that is on the modernization for your industry with an app, a unified app for all of your taxi brothers and sisters.
The main guy in Quebec is a company called Fraction. It's a Quebec-based company. They're the biggest one. They can compete against any European or American app. They're creating an app that will be one of the best things in Canada and the U.S. It's going to come out soon, and I mean, whoever wants to join up in the industry, and depending on the price, it's going to be really, really good. So we're looking forward to that. It has an app, it has a telephone system, it has an accounting department in it, it has everything. So it should be a good program. They're almost done with it, and once they're done, they'll implement it into all this. It basically has all of Quebec. So most 95% of its customers will probably use it, and hopefully province-wide it'll work.
George, thanks for the update. Thanks for
Elias,
coming on.
I seen you on TV with the ALS. I wish you luck with your mom. If you ever, you're a good friend of the taxi industry, even though you're an Uber and a tech guy. You ever need anything, you ever get stuck, you call me directly, and we'll figure something out for any type of transportation that you need, Elias. I really appreciate everything.
George, bless you. You're super nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, good luck, Elias.
George Boussios from Champlain Taxi.